I would like to speak about education and the change it needs. Right. So education and the change it needs. So what do you think? Does it need a change? Yes? A big yes? Yes. Now why yes? It is because we, the educated class of India, are not knowing the difference between being educated and acting educated. We all think we are educated just because we've been to schools, because we have big degrees, because people call us and people call us to TED Talks, and we think we are educated, right? No, that's not education. Education is when you can actually successfully apply what you have learned in reality. As long as you learn something, you know that you have to water a plant to nurture it and to make it grow. And when you don't do that, when you don't water a plant, while knowing that you have to do it for its growth, then you are not educated. You have to apply what you have learned to be called educated. And this is what is lacking in the entire system. And that is why our system needs a huge change. And the change is big. That has to come. It needs to be very big. Now, let's go a little further. Now, this picture is very familiar to all of you. We have all seen this before, isn't it? So what does it say? For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same examination. So please climb the tree. So if you ask an elephant, a dog, a rat, a fish, everybody, to just climb a tree, to assess them, is it fair? But that is what our education system is doing to us. Now, amongst today's speakers, one of us is into photography, one of us is into sports, one of us is into education, third is into design. So all of us are into various fields. Now, if we are all going through the same process of testing, then it's not fair to anybody of us, isn't it? So that is what needs to change in our system. So this is predominantly what we shall discuss in the next 15 odd minutes. Let's hear a small story. So this was when I was traveling, this happened when I was traveling in a train. And there was a mother and a son, and the mother was explaining to this very young son, "Son, look outside. All the farmers are harvesting all the paddy fields, and they are, processing all the rice, everything." Now suddenly the son asked, what is all that? So what does it become later? Because it's just looking brown, nothing else. Then the mother said, that is what becomes rice. They get rice from that. Farmers get rice from that. So the son immediately asked, now this son which I'm talking about is a very young boy, 5 years. So he asked, don't we just get it in the supermarket? Why are they getting it from here? And this, you should look at the expression of this mother. She was flummoxed, let me tell you. Now, what failed in this story? Did the son fail? Or did the system fail? Yes, it's the system that failed. So that is what requires a huge change. It's not that the son did not know that rice was available. He knows that rice is coming from a plant or from wherever it is coming from. And he knows that it is available in the supermarket. He just couldn't apply it. So that is where the system is not able to reach the goal. Now this story, what I told you, is not just a story. Now this is the paper clipping of this same story which I wrote and which got published in the Hindu in 2009. So in this paper clipping, it's not clear for obvious reasons, but still. In this article itself, I mentioned that children must experience certain things rather than just learning them with books. Going on. Now, if we have to process this entire thing, what am I driving at? What is this entire talk driving at? So we need to process how we want to go about it. So let me process this entire thing. First, if everybody has to, in the process of education in our system, this has to be done. The first step, learning has to be done. Every one of us have to learn every day. Then you develop a passion amongst the various things that you learn every day. You develop a passion for one of those things. And then you might want to get educated in that area. Now this application part is what I concentrate upon. Unless we apply what we have learned, it's all waste. You have to apply. If you have learned everything about photography like sir, and you don't take photographs, what is the meaning? So you need to apply. If you learn a technique, you don't use it, what is the meaning? So apply it. And then you succeed. So while that is the original process that should be followed, what is happening in reality is no process followed. Nothing at all. We just go to school, we come back from school, we say we are educated. I have a 10th class degree, I have a 12th class degree, I have this, I have that. But there is no process. We just go along with the flow. And then the most bad part of the entire story is success is measured only in grades. So let's analyze again. What has been done in the past? Let's start with the learning process which has been done in the past. Let's go to Adi Gurus. So, you must have all heard of Sri Adi Shankaracharya, right? So this man was taught by his teacher that he had to spread the word of Advaita philosophy or Advaita Vedanta philosophy, whatever, on the banks of Yamuna. And he was given the tools to do it. And now this disciple, he just did it. And he is one of the most successful students and gurus. Why do we remember him otherwise, right? So that is what happened. When something was told, it was followed to a T, and then it was applied. So that is what made education, that is education. That is what made it successful back then. What should be done? So let's talk into what should be done about it. We should start learning. Where does this learning start? It starts with ourselves, it starts at home, it goes on up till school, and you also learn from the environment. Environment is just surroundings. Like today, all of us have learned from all the wonderful speakers, didn't we? We did. So that's learning from the surroundings or the environment. We all have been, all of us are going to college, all of you are students of Geetam. You are learning something. It's a school. Okay, college as you call, but still, it's a school. We are all learning. At home, we all learn. Home is the place where you learn a lot of things. And you have to learn from yourself. Now, learning about self, I'll come to that. It's a continuous process. Now, about this learning, that's the first step too. This is the first step if you have to get educated. Yeah, so this is an example. Like, one of these recent days, we all wake up in the morning and look into our mobile phones. The first thing I do is look into my mobile phone. How many of you do? So when I look into my phone, I have 10 notifications minimum, of which one notification said today is ABC's birthday, today is ABC's anniversary, today XYZ changed his photograph, profile picture, and then there was a fourth notification. You know what it said? 21 things you have been doing wrong your whole life. And then I learned about amongst those 21 things, I have really been doing 15 things wrong. And this is just an example. You know, we use our juice bottles, Tropicana, Real, whatever we use. I always pour the juice with the nozzle downwards. And that is why I have that splish, splash, glug, glug kind of flow out of that bottle. But the right way of pouring it is this, putting the nozzle upwards. I didn't know this. Now, in this, I'll apply this example. Now, I've learned this. While I'm not passionate about opening juice bottles every day, I still got educated. And I will apply it my whole life. And I will be successful my whole life in pouring out the juice the right way. Right? So that is what I'm talking about. Now, you should apply this right from opening a juice bottle to choosing your career. Your career, your passion, your interest, everything. Now, passion is not found every other day. And for some, it is never found at all, right? Once found, it really drives you. It does. Now, if I go and ask my student in my school, class 6, come here, boy. Yes, ma'am, he says, I said, what is your passion? He tells me, ma'am, playing PS2. So, it's not the right age to ask a question. So, the right age to find out a passion is where we are all in, where you are all in. But if you have to find it, you have to learn things. You should Acknowledge that you are learning things. You should apply what you have learned and then see if that is what you want to do for the rest of your life. This is what schools need to teach children. Now, I would like to give you my story now. Like, as I was introduced, I come from a family of doctors. In the very first circle, including my parents, my sister, her husband, everybody. I have around 15 doctors in my family, and I chose not to be a doctor. Just because at that point, as a young girl from class 12, I thought this was not my cup of tea. So now where is the system not successful for us? The real world skills, the life skills, how to be street smart. No, we are not being successful there. This is what should be taught to our children. We should teach them to be street smart. Then the soft skills. These are very important these days. You should know how to behave yourselves, how to be, how to walk, how to talk, everything. And then application of what they learn in school. And then processing these thoughts and giving independent thought. This should also be practiced. Every child should have independence of thought. One more thing which we need to teach our children now. Now, I added this point because it's very important in the Indian scenario. Sex education in the right sense. We should teach our girls and boys what is right and what is wrong, how to respect each other, how to differentiate between a good touch and a bad touch, how to protect yourselves. All these is what we need our children to learn at school. Now, if we can educate with passion, now this slide shows how we can make education very interesting for children. If a teacher can teach mathematics like this using Lego blocks and ask him to do an activity, then it will be good, right? So that is what should be done. Education should be made more passionate. And how do we bring the change? Mix up study and play. Nurture the inquisitive nature of kids. Kids have lots of questions. Nurture all of that so that they'll bring out their creativity, they'll bring out their potential. It's our duty to nurture it. Let them taste success. Applaud them at schools. They'll be very happy. Look at the big picture, the theme of this TED. Look at the big picture. We are looking at India's future. Channelize all your energies in the right direction. That's also very important. So what do we achieve after all of this? What we achieve is successful people, that is, successful people in life who make successful people. That's their children. So we are talking about the next 2 generations. And then our place in the world stage, like when Sir was talking, he was talking about creating a stage for India in the world, creating a place for India. That's what we'll create. And then a very happy and a satisfied education. Someone like me will be very happy. Yes, I'm creating wonderful future citizens of this country. And ultimately, we'll all create a beautiful nation. We'll create the best doctors, the best engineers, the best animation people, the best photographers, the best everybody. Everybody will be the best. And what will this all finally make? Yes, a better nation. So on that note, looking at a very bright India, thank you so much.